Not everyone needs a high-powered laptop with loads of processing power, and you shouldn't feel like you need to spend over £500 if you only want to use yours for web browsing, emails and word processing. The best laptop for you will depend on your needs. If you're buying for a student or more casual user, go for a machine that can handle basic work/study tasks, light multitasking, and the occasional Netflix binge. Built-in security features ensure you're protected from viruses and malware. No setup or long load times, simply log in with a Google account, and you're in. Navigate your world with Chrome OS. Get the best of Google, Gmail, Maps, Docs, and Pics, and back everything up safely in the cloud. And since your Chromebook gets free updates automatically, it will only get better. Built-in security features ensure you're protected from viruses and malware. No setup or long load times, simply log in with a Google account, and you're in. Navigate your world with Chrome OS. Get the best of Google, Gmail, Maps, Docs, and Pics, and back everything up safely in the cloud. And since your Chromebook gets free updates automatically, it will only get better. A battery that gets up to 11 hours on a single charge means you can view the news over coffee in the morning, check emails at lunch, then surf social media after dinner, all without having to recharge. Plus, it's made for the long run, since it continues to retain most of its capacity even after 3 years use. The display offers a sunny 400 nits of brightness, good contrast, and reasonably rich, well-saturated colors. Since its native 1920 by 1,200 pixel resolution makes screen elements look too tiny, you can choose among faux or looks-like resolutions ranging from 1662 by 1038 pixels to 831 by 519. The default setting is a good mix of sharpness and readability without being too pixelated. It is, of course, a touch screen, compatible with Universal Stylus Initiative pens like the one Lenovo says it will sell soon, joining other vendors such as HP and Shikini. The Duet has 4 GB of memory along with the 128 GB of storage I mentioned, plus support for 802.11 acres Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.2 wireless. The tablet alone measures 0.29 by 9.4 by 6.3 inches and combines a glossy front panel with a two-tone back that has an 8-megapixel rear-facing camera lens in one corner. There's a 2-megapixel front-facing webcam in the medium-thick screen border or bezel. 2 speakers and 2 pinhole microphones decorate its top edge. Along its right edge are a volume rocker, the power button, and the USB port, which serves for data transfer, charging. The supplied power plug's cord is rather short, and DisplayPort video output. Pogo pins on the tablet's bottom edge fit the keyboard. Small tablets aren't known for their booming speakers, so the Duets are a mild positive, if you tweak them. Sound from the Lenovo's Pair is too soft unless you crank the volume all the way up, which introduces some distortion. But with a little adjustment, you can get agreeable audio, albeit low on bass and with overlapping tracks mostly muddled. The 1600 by 1,200 pixel webcam captures reasonably bright and impressively sharp shots. Given the image quality, it was obvious that I'd been too lazy to shave for a video chat. The 3264 by 2,448 pixel rear camera is above average, as well, exhibiting snappy autofocus behavior and showing crisp colors. The Chromebook Duet is just the right size for an airline tray table with the kickstand propping the screen and the keyboard snapped into place below. Like other tablets with kickstands, it'll work, or mostly work, on your lap, taking up all available thigh space with the kickstand on your knees. It doesn't feel flimsy or wobbly typing on your lap, but it definitely feels more comfortable on a desk or table. Open the lid and you'll see an expanse of silver plastic, with unfashionably fat bezels surrounding the screen and a standard Chromebook layout looking lost in a vast keyboard deck. Upward-facing speakers bracket the keyboard on the sides, and a large, buttonless touchpad swims in the space below. On the left side are a USB 3.1 Type-C port, a USB 3.1 Type-A port, a microSD card slot, and an audio jack. On the right are another USB-C port, another USB-A port, and a security lock slot. I was disappointed not to find an HDMI video output, though you can connect an external monitor by plugging a DisplayPort adapter, not included, into a USB-C port. Bluetooth and 802.11 acres Wi-Fi handle wireless connections. The 720p webcam is a lowest common denominator device, with fair colors but rather soft focus. selfies taken in my home office weren't the brightest, even on a sunny day, but the camera will suffice for video chats. The Acer stereo speakers can fill a good-sized room, and the Chromebook 315 played my MP3 files with both Chrome Audio Player and Google Play Music. Cranking up the volume doesn't make sounds tinny or distorted. Overlapping tracks come through clearly, without a ton of bass but with strong highs and vocals. By comparison, the display is a bit of a disappointment. Viewing angles are broad, at least until interrupted by reflections on the touch overlay, but brightness could be better. Backgrounds are a touch off-white even with the screen backlight maxed out. Contrast is good, yet small text and fine details are slightly hazy around the edges. Colors are passable but don't pop. None of this adds up to a bad screen. I've certainly seen inexpensive Chromebooks with worse, but this panel is not a highlight. The Chromebook C523 boasts a thin profile and a brushed aluminum finish. While it's an unquestionably thin laptop, particularly one with a 15.6-inch screen, its aluminum looks are a bit deceiving. The bottom half of the system is plastic, only the lid is aluminum. The lid has a sturdy, rigid feel to it, and the plastic keyboard deck feels impressively solid, as well. I note hardly any flex in the palm rest and underneath the keys themselves, despite Asus opting for plastic instead of metal. The only time the keyboard deck gives a little is when I pick it up by one of its front corners with one hand. The weight of the display results in the front of the keyboard deck bending a bit. At this Chromebook's low price, however, I'm pleasantly surprised to see any metal used in its construction. The result is a luxuriously roomy keyboard with no stunted keys. If anything, some of the keys feel extra long. The keys offer 1.4 mm of travel and have a snappy, responsive aspect to them. The only thing missing from the keyboard is backlighting, an understandable but still disappointing omission on an inexpensive Chromebook. The touchpad feels responsive, too. It's big enough for comfortable mousing and swiping gestures, but it looks a tad undersized sitting, as it does, in the middle of the vast expanse of the wide palm rest. For a Chromebook, the R11 is fast, thanks to its 1.6 GHz Intel Celeron N3150 processor and 4 GB of memory, in addition to the speedy SSD loading times. It boots up in about 5 seconds, and is perfectly capable of running a few web apps at once and streaming video. The pricier Toshiba Chromebook 2, with its Intel Core i3 CPU, can handle more like using a photo editing service with more tabs and videos running at once, but for day-to-day multitasking, the R11 can hold its own. Chrome OS systems are unable to run our Windows benchmarking software, but through daily use and anecdotal testing, I found that the system was adept at handling most basic tasks. The Acer Chromebook R11 is an all-around impressive convertible hybrid Chrome OS system, offering solid construction, speedy components, and a good array of features at a low price. It rates a half point lower than the Asus Chromebook Flip, our previous top pick, but there is also more competition in the field these days. The extra 2 GB of memory and double the local storage, compared with the Asus Chromebook Flip, are welcome additions, as is the extra inch of screen space. The difference in battery life is negligible, and the full-size ports on the R11 are more useful than those on the Asus Chromebook Flip. The all-white exterior is attractive, and the aluminum and plastic body feels sturdy. With its versatility, strong performance, and low price, the Chromebook R11 is our editor's choice.